James Clear has the 4 parts of the habit loop, which is the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. And so the thing that we're really honing in on with No Dice is, look, I failed, but guess what? I might be down, but I'm not out. I'm about to restart the challenge right now. Day 1 of No Dice 45, and the number one thing that's on my mind is the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt. Just the other day, I came into this gym and I started talking to this guy. He was one of the coolest people I've met in a very long time, and all of that was because of No Dice 45. I was like, hey man, I like your shirt, what's that all about? And that one compliment led to an incredible conversation and what could end up being a very fruitful friendship. The thing that makes me the most upset about these prediction market platforms is that, like, it's being directly integrated with, crypto exchanges and even regular stock brokerages. And the thing that's messed up about that is that you're conflating real, legitimate, positive expectancy activities such as investing with things that are literally designed to take your money away. The worst part about that is that this is happening right as the younger generation are starting to get into investing. And I'm thinking about that because Money Man, I'm listening to Money Man, blockchain just came on. He put this out before these prediction market platforms were going crazy. You got people like Drake promoting these gambling sites, making $100 million a year. Mind you, he's already super wealthy. Promoting these gambling sites, telling you that he's putting his money on the line, betting millions of dollars at a time when he's not. He's being given that money by these casinos to go out there and do that. They're getting hit with lawsuits left and right because they're also doing this illegally. He's got like a RICO charge against him. And stop comparing yourself to others. Who do you think Jeff Bezos was comparing himself to? There's actually this thing called social comparison theory. And what it is that you want to know something that's interesting? It feels like it's in our nature to find the things that are actually painful attractive. Hear me out. The things that you find attractive in someone else are usually things that require a ton of pain in order for them to achieve. For instance, being here in the gym. In order to build a certain kind of physique, you gotta punish yourself to a certain degree. In fact, you might even have to be in love with punishing yourself consistently on a daily basis even. Same thing with business. The things that we admire so much, the people that are at the absolute top of the game, they've dealt with the biggest and the worst problems of business that anybody's ever had to deal with. That's how they get to that point, right? Same thing with yourself on an emotional level. How do you get to where you don't have to be so affected by things that are so minuscule? You go through big stuff. You go through super painful experiences. And so the question is, are you gonna run away and try to hide away from painful experiences? Or are you gonna run toward them and become the best version of yourself that you can possibly be? I wanna challenge you for the next 45 days to join me for No Dice 45 and to push yourself just that little bit further. Give yourself a little bit of extra pain every single day to make sure that you're on path, that you're on the way to your goals. Think about it. If you can change your life in 45 days, if you can live the next 45 years of your life the way that you want to live them, would that be worth it? Let's go. Join me for No Dice 45. Click the link in our bio to get started today. Let's get it. This energy right here, it comes from bang. Okay. You gotta be a little bit crazy, man. I mean, think about it. Some of the people that we look at in society as the most successful people, they're like actually crazy. Legitimate psychopaths or with some sort of, mental cognitive sort of divergence is the word that they use these days. So don't be afraid to be a little bit different at the very minimum. In fact, lean into those things. Everything that makes you weird is what makes you you. And the things that make you you are the things that make you valuable. Those are the things that matter. What I recommend is that you constantly put yourself under pressure. Constantly feel that pain. Because otherwise what happens is you get weak. You start forgetting. You start forgetting what pain feels like. You start forgetting that pain is right around the corner. You start to forget that the things that have gotten you to where you are were extremely painful experiences. And then the pain that you feel from those kinds of experiences gets smaller and smaller. It becomes irrelevant. So you got to keep going for it. You got to keep finding the pain. It's going to mold you. And stop comparing yourself to others. Imagine if I compared myself to people, bro. I'm lifting tiny weight. I'm still nowhere in my life as an entrepreneur. I'm still at the very bottom of the bottom, bro. If I was comparing myself to others, I'd be screwed. It's you versus you. But you already know that. The question is, are you acting in accordance with that? Come on. Come on. It's baby weight. But that's just fine, because guess what? That's work for me. 17. For another better game. Who do you think Jeff Bezos was comparing himself to? To build Amazon. Nobody. The best in the world at what they do are not comparing themselves to anybody. The best in the world at what they do know that if they compare themselves to somebody else, then they're always going to be under them. They're always going to be just that little bit off, because they know that the things that they're comparing themselves to aren't even the actual metric. That's not the actual thing. It's just the result of the thing. You're comparing yourself to somebody's results, not to their process. Lock in on your process. Lock in on the things that you know that you can do 10% better than anybody else. There's actually this thing called social comparison theory. And what it is that essentially you do naturally compare yourself to other people. And when you do that, there's two different ways that you can go about it. There's a matrix. You've got downward comparison, someone who's doing worse than you in whatever way that you might look at that. And then you have upward comparison, people who might be doing better than you in some way that you might look at it. And then you've got, how do you respond to that, right? Are you going to respond to that positively? Meaning, for downward comparison, somebody who's doing worse than you, practicing gratitude for the fact that you're not there and that you're doing well. Or negatively, where you're like, huh, you look down on those people. And then for upward comparison, do you look at that and say, wow, I can do that too? Or do you look up at that and get jealous? So in fact, actually, compare yourself to others. Because really, your brain's gonna do it anyways. But when you do it, be conscious of how you're going about it. It's going to determine the way that that impacts you. And on top of that, what I would say is be an example. Be somebody that people can look up to and be inspired by. Join me for No Dice 45. Let people know that you're taking the challenge. Put it on your story. You have no idea how much that one little act can do to change somebody's life. I'm finna do it right now. Look, I failed, but guess what? I might be down, but I'm not out. I'm about to restart the challenge right now. Let's go, let's see what we get for the day. Okay. Let's do it. So let's start these challenges. Don't quit, because at the end of this, if you make it through all 45 days, you get a chance to come on the podcast and talk to Ben and I about your journey. So don't quit. Make it through the 45 days. Let's go. Here we go. No gambling. That's easy. That's easy. I'm gonna stay clean today. Easy. Awesome. I got 4 more challenges. Look, let's do the exercise because I'm in here right now. 45 minutes of exercise. 45 minutes to change the next 45 years of your life. Bet on yourself. Let's go. So I'm gonna add proof. I'm gonna add proof of my workout. Here we go. Let's do it. Let me try that again. Day 1. All right. Put it on my Instagram story. Day 1, hashtag no dice 45. Come on. So that's 2 down for the day. No gambling, 45 minutes working out. And then I got a meditation. Sit down for 10 minutes. It's a guided meditation by yours truly. Then I need to document my journey. So I get to put another picture. Actually, I'm gonna record a video about myself taking the challenge. And then I need to give 5 strangers a compliment today. So let's see if I can get that done. I'm gonna go ahead and document now. Day 1 of No Dice 45. And the number one thing that's on my mind is the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, getting booed incessantly until he had to leave the stage at the University of Arizona while giving a commencement speech.
Architects of artificial intelligence. Interesting. If you'd let me make this point, please.
Here's what happened. He kept on talking about the number one thing that everyone in that room was upset about, and that's AI. And so every time he mentioned AI, they started booing him. And then eventually, it looked like he had to leave stage because they would not stop booing him. And what this represents to me is the fact that right now people are feeling absolutely hopeless. And this is exactly why I'm doing No Dice 45. is to, one, remind myself of all of the things in my life that I actually do have control over, and two, to spread awareness of the fact that there are things that we can be doing every single day to make our lives better. Not only is it a reminder to myself of the things that I could be doing, but also it's a reminder to other people out there who might be inspired to say, hey, you know what? There are things that I can be doing too. And so, yes, No Dice is about gambling prevention. It's about bringing awareness to the fact that people are out here rolling the dice on things that are not serving them in any way. But more than anything, what this is really about is making sure that you hold yourself accountable to the things that you want to achieve in your life. You can block any kind of apps on your phone. You can do any of that. You can stop yourself from doom scrolling. You can stop yourself from using stuff that you know you're not supposed to be doing. And that's the beauty of the No Dice app. And that's why I encourage you to join me for No Dice 45. This is day one, and these are the things that are on my mind right now. Like this, follow No Dice, and click the link in our bio to download the app and get started with us today. Inside the app, you also are going to get access to a free personal finance 101 course and a course about the economics of gambling. I'll see you on the other side. Bet on yourself. Peace. All right, dude. All right, that's that challenge down. Continue. I've got 2 more to go. I've got to give out 5 compliments, and I've got to do a 10-minute meditation later today. Let's go. Let's finish up this workout and get it going. Yeah. Definitely just murked my legs. All this recording makes it to where I end up hitting more sets because I'm just going, you know. Leave it better than you found it. If you're going through anything painful, I highly recommend that you join me for No Dice 45. I can tell you right now, it's taking me way out of my head, put me in reality, and put me on a whole different path. It's little things every single day that make your whole world different. An easy thing to do when things get hard is to like become a recluse, right? And try to hide away. But I promise you, that's probably one of the most dangerous things you can do. Isolation is one of the leading reasons why people really stay stuck. And especially for people who are dealing with any form of addiction of any kind. I'm talking about your doom scrolling, your, explicit content online, gambling, substances, all of that. The number one thing that keeps people in those loops is isolation. And I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense, right? Like, if you get around other people, there's a lot of wild cards that come from that, When you get around people, things that you can't expect to predict happen. And the same loops that you were in get disrupted. And so one of the most important things you can do to get out of a rut or to change your life is to actually reach out to people and surround yourself with others. And that's one of the main pieces of No Dice 45 is being very intentional about reaching out to people around you and making sure that you're building community at all times. Because truth is, a lot of times, you're around some really incredible people. And the only way that you bring them into your life, you can wait for it to happen. You can roll the dice and hope and pray that that happens, or you can take life in your own hands. Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself to be the person that's worthy of building that community. Join me for No Dice 45. Take the challenge. Build community. Do things that you know you should be doing. And take 45 days to build your life for the next 45 years. Like this and click the link in bio or in the description down below to join me for No Dice 45. Download the app and get started today. Just the other day, I came into this gym and I started talking to this guy. He was one of the coolest people I've met in a very long time, and all of that was because of No Dice 45, but also because I'm going through something that is making me want to lean in and be super intentional about growing my network, connecting with people, really more than anything, just connecting with people. And it just turned out, this guy was wearing a shirt. I was like, hey man, I like the shirt, what's that all about? And that one compliment led to an incredible conversation and what could end up being a very fruitful friendship. The dude's super successful, super fit, and you know what he said at the end of that conversation? He said, hey man, if you ever have any questions about anything or need any help with anything, let me know. And the only way that that happened was because I went up to him and said, what's up? Instead of hoping that someday somebody comes up and says something to me, I take my fate into my own hands. I reach out to people around me. So that's why giving 5 people compliments or reaching out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while are both parts of the No Dice 45 challenge. Every single thing that's in the challenge is intentionally designed to not only help you to get out of a rut or to break out of any addictions that you may have, but also to help you live the most fulfilling life that you could possibly live. And to choose to lean into positive habits when things get tough. Freddy Krueger, give him a nightmare. As soon as you close your eyes, you're right there. It's also a big part of why we do the thing about posting about your journey while you're going through it. Because the truth is, you can also build community virtually these days. I mean, I've met some incredible people through my journey creating content online. Shout out to Cobb, my boy Cobb. Shout out to Danielle Leslie. Shout out to my boy Wesley Turner. So many people, honestly. Like really, really cool people that I'll be in contact with for probably the rest of my life. And all that comes through just putting yourself out there online. People resonate with you. You can attract the people that you want to be around the most by just posting stuff online. And when it comes to No Dice 45, we can also push each other and encourage each other to keep going. Because there's going to be times where it's hard, there's going to be times where we fail. You might forget, and then you got to restart. That's just a part of the game. So that's why, that's another big part of it is like, you can also build community online. And so if you're worried about like posting to your page and people seeing it, what we recommend is just create a new account. And then when you're doing that, you can go over there and you can even block all the people, right, that you really don't want to see your stuff. That way they never see it. But right now, nowadays, you can start a page from scratch, talk about the things that you want to talk about, and people will see it, especially if you're using the app, because we're going to make it to where people can see the stuff that you're posting as long as you use the hashtag NoDice45 while you're posting. We'll see it. Everybody in the community will see it, and we will support each other through it. So don't be afraid to just put yourself out there. Start a new account. Nobody has to see it. Nobody that you know has to see it. And yet, the people who you wouldn't even imagine that you would be connecting with, you can connect with, and people whose lives that you never thought that you'd be able to change, you could change in their life by just posting a silly video on Instagram, on TikTok. Think about that, right? That's the world we live in now. You've got access to unlimited evil and unlimited dopamine and things that don't serve you, but you also have access to things that do serve you and that serve the people around you. Building good habits is all about just taking the first step. It's about just getting to the location where the habit gets done. It's about just putting yourself in the arena. Because look, I've been here for way too long today. Luckily, I get to do 2 things at once. I get to create this content and work out, but point is, I also realized I got a lot more gas in the tank. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna push it that much harder. I'm gonna push it that much further. But if I wasn't in here, I wouldn't even have the chance to do it. So on the days when you really don't feel like doing it, just show up. Just show up. You don't have to even do anything, just get there. And once you get there, you'll be like, well, I'm here. And that's the beauty of it. That's in Atomic Habits, James Clear. You know, how do you create the habit loop? And one of the things to get started is to make it easy. Make the things that you want to do easy. Make the things that you don't want to do hard. Make it difficult. That's where the No Dice app comes in. Right? Make it hard to do the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. You can block gambling apps. You can block your social media apps. You can block whatever on your phone that you know that you shouldn't be using. You can also do time-based blocking sessions so that you can block things for a specific block of time, so that maybe if you're trying to stay productive throughout the day, you can block the app for those specific hours of the day. James Clear has the 4 parts of the habit loop, which is the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. And so the thing that we're really honing in on with No Dice is the response, right? This is that part where you get to either make it easy or make it difficult. Make it difficult to respond, right, to the cravings that were induced by the cue. So for gamblers, there's always a cue, right, that triggers a thought of, oh, it's time to place a bet. So it could be seeing sports on TV. It could be hanging out with your friends, right? That might just be a cue because of how much you've associated that habit with being around that group of people. And so the cue is the number one thing that obviously, if you can cut it out, then that's fantastic. But sometimes it's kind of hard to do, right? If every time you see a game on TV, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna be places where you can see a game on TV if that's your cue. So then it becomes down to the craving. If you can't make it invisible, the way that James Clear talks about in the book, then you've got the next piece, which is the craving. And so you have to try to make it unattractive. How do you make it unattractive to gamble? Well, for instance, you could look at, in the No Dice app, how much money you're spending on it, right? That's one way to make it unattractive, right? Make what it is that the actual result of the habit is clear and obvious and in your face. And then the next thing is, for the response, make it to where it's hard to do it. Once again, block the app on your phone. And then finally, you've got the reward, which is also basically make it something that is unrewarding, something that's not fulfilling in some way. So once you bet, once you gamble, basically you can find ways to punish yourself after. But anyways, when it comes to forming habits, those are the 4 different things that James Clear points out in the habit loop. There's a cue, the craving, the response, and reward. And there's different things that you can do at each stage of this response that you're having to prevent yourself from doing things that you don't want to do and to guide yourself towards things that you do want to do. I highly recommend reading that book. It's really good, and it shows up in life. And all of that was about just getting here, right? Just getting here. Make it easy. Make the thing that you have to do, the response, really easy. I'm just going to come to the gym. I'm not necessarily going to have to do anything crazy. I'm not going to hold myself to any particular limits. I'm just going to get here. And then the next thing you know, I've been in here for 45 minutes. I've done my 45-minute workout. That's what No Dice 45 is all about. It's about just showing up. It's about doing the bare minimum. Just getting yourself in the habit. Next thing you know, 45 days passes by, and your whole life is different. I know I'm excited. It's day 1 for me. The thing that makes me the most upset about these prediction market platforms is that, like, it's being directly integrated with, you know, crypto exchanges and even regular stock brokerages. And the thing that's messed up about that is that you're conflating real, legitimate, positive expectancy activities such as investing with things that are literally designed to take your money away. And you're putting them on the same platform and acting like it's the same product when it's not. And the thing about that is that the worst part about that is that this is happening right as the younger generation are starting to get into investing and starting to find ways, right, to set themselves up for the future. And right in the middle of that trend, what have they done? They've introduced these gambling products right in the middle of that revolution that's been happening. And I'm thinking about that because Money Man, I'm listening to Money Man, blockchain just came on. He put this out before these prediction market platforms were going crazy. And so, you know, you got all these gambling platforms on TV. CNN's about to start promoting the prediction platforms left and right. You talk about millions, tens of millions, billions of people being exposed to this activity. And instead of actually betting on themselves and investing in their futures, they're gonna be rolling the dice on a bunch of random outcomes that they have zero control over and that are not designed to create positive expectancy, that are not designed to win over the long run. And then they're hiding behind the regulators. The CFTC is saying, oh, it's fine. These are event contracts. And they help with information. But we know what this is really about. And the other thing that they try to say is that, oh, this is peer-to-peer. So you're not betting against the house, you're betting against your fellow man. But the truth of the matter is that you're not actually betting against your fellow man. What you're actually betting against is the people who actually know what's going to happen. Okay, so these prediction markets, the way they work is you can either basically bet on something happening or not happening. Depending upon how it actually turns out, you either make money or lose money. And so what's happening in reality, okay, don't tell anybody, is that the people who know what's gonna happen next are creating markets for people to bet on things that they already know the answer to. And so it looks like a fair market. It's peer-to-peer. You're betting against someone else, not against the house. It's not gaming, it's not gambling. Bro, yes it is. And who are you really playing against? Okay, so it's wild to see the CFTC support this kind of behavior because in reality, it's super toxic. And not only that, but you got people betting on things that are not things that people should be betting on. And what happens from that is that now you've got the incentive for things that would otherwise not happen, happening. But on a greater trend of this whole gambling thing, right, you got people like Drake promoting these gambling sites, making $100 million a year. Mind you, he's already super wealthy. Promoting these gambling sites, telling you that he's putting his money on the line, betting millions of dollars at a time when he's not. He's being given that money by these casinos to go out there and do that. They're getting hit with lawsuits left and right because they're also doing this illegally. He's got like a RICO charge against them because these gambling platforms are not even legal in the places that they're promoting them. And it's just all a big deception. Like Drake didn't get to where he got because he was gambling money, bro. He got there because he did something where he bet on himself. Once again, it's the key theme here. Bet on yourself. Stop giving your money to these platforms that are designed to take it away from you. It's not fun, it's not entertainment. It's not entertainment to be worse off today than you were yesterday. Bet on yourself and join me for No Dice 45. You can find the link in the description. Not only are you doing this for yourself, you can do this for somebody else as well. Do it for your friends. See who can actually make it faster. You gotta start at the same time. Challenge each other, push each other to get through. Come on. I don't think they won. And I'm on the ground like a farmer. Got in my house, got me feeling like Osama. Got me feeling like Obama. There's been this study that came out that said something like 0.01% of the users of these prediction market platforms are pulling down 67% of the profits. 67% of the profits going to 0.01%. That means that everybody else is losing money, man. And what that also very obviously means is that like these people have information, right? And so there's no way for them to really purely fully regulate this thing because it's literally peer-to-peer, so anyone can spin up a bet anywhere in the world at any time. So it's impossible to try to do anything about all of this. And so my point is really, like, how do you get the odds in your favor? And the way that you get the odds in your favor is by betting on things, if you must, in ways that you have control over the outcome. Like going to the gym every day If you go to the gym every day, there's a 100% chance, brother, that you will get into better shape. If you say hi to 5 strangers every day, there's a 100% chance that you're going to make new friends, and also just be a positive role model in the world. So this is all about just putting the odds in your favor, giving yourself a chance to win. It's already hard enough out here. Why would you do things that tilt the odds against you? Join me for No Dice 45. Bet on yourself. Come on. Let's go.